Hello, my name's Laura. If you're returning once again, welcome back. Thank you for clicking once again. If you're new, I like books, and today I'm going to be talking about the second book in the Horsemen saga by Laura Thalassa. Book number 2 belongs to War. Now this one, it's set in the Middle East. Jerusalem has fallen. Pestilence has failed his mission. This takes place sometime after. So after the events of book number 1, Pestilence has given up his horseman status and War has been activated, and he is pretty much going through village to village, town to town, killing everything in sight. So he will literally run through. Now the difference between War and Pestilence is, even though they're lone agents, he rolls with a war party, and so with each town and village that he goes through, he will pretty much give the survivors a choice: death or allegiance. And Miriam is our female main character, and she's a wonderful character. Her home, her family, they've all been killed, and War is very much on his way to her village, and she, like Sarah in the first one, she makes a stand against War. Again, they don't seem to realise in these books that the horseman can't be killed, so she does actually injure him. But the difference is he takes an interest in Miriam, and she can understand what he's saying, and he's not speaking Arabic, he's speaking his own sort of language, but she can understand him, and he pretty much claims her as his wife, which this is like a huge revelation. But yet, even though he's claimed her as his wife, he still has to go through the whole death or allegiance, and she is a fierce old character, and she chooses death, but he is not having any of this. This seems so incredible, because obviously he thinks that she's just gonna go, yeah, fine, but this is not the sort of character that she is, and she's gonna fight to the bitter end. So the stakes in this one are raised in that the dangers for Miriam are not just from the horseman himself, but the crowd that he rolls with. Anybody that's going to choose allegiance, they're a dangerous bunch to have to deal with. So the actual war camp itself is horrific, and again, like the first book, this is very dark, so there's a lot of violence in this one. There's a lot of graphic details of violence, but it just makes the central romance all the more interesting to read, because obviously you think, how are you going to soften the horseman that is War? So, you know, she fights him at every step of the way, with everything right from even choosing death over allegiance. You know, he can't seem to get her to submit to him, which is a really, really fantastic dynamic between the two. So this one is very, very fiery. It's incredibly intense, but she does make odd little friends in the camp. So there are some good people within the war camp, even though most of them they're kind of not the best of people that he's sort of rolling with. They're sort of happy to steal and do worse things and destroy villages on War's behalf. But with every new village that he enters, because obviously she's forced to kind of be part of it, she in her own way does try to save people. So she's sort of like sabotaging them on the side, which doesn't go unnoticed by some of the people that are loyal to War. So this it causes some aggravation for our main character in the story, which she literally is having to fight battles from all sides, really. But she does, the thing is, the attraction between her and War is there. It is intense, it is amazing to read, but it's nice to see her slowly work her influence on him without even really trying. So he does kind of, bit by bit, start to lose his need to destroy villages, because he kind of wants to be better for Miriam. So I mean, it takes a while. This is not a short book, but his evolution is so fascinating to see, because he is like this barbarian type character, and he does go into protector mode with our main character, but this is going to put him in a perilous position with the people in his war camp. So again, he is, you know, he's actively destroying villages and whatnot, but when he does start to try dialing it back and taking an interest in Miriam, the people that he's with become a huge threat within this story, to the point where I don't kind of want to give it away, but it's horrific, the events that this build up to. But again, because it's supernatural, you're like, there's things that happen in this book that you're like, on a normal kind of standard romance, there's things that happen that are undoable. So it is horrific like the other one, but again, if you're into dark romance and you want one with a bit of a supernatural twist, this is a phenomenal book. The main romance is hot, it's spicy. The graphic elements, they are horrific, because I mean, you're seeing war, you're seeing the worst of people, but within this situation you are also seeing the best of life as well. But Miriam as a character, she is fascinating to be in the head of, and they're a dynamic that is, it's wonderful to read, and it's wonderful to see him bit by bit slowly soften. And you know, he's from where he starts to where he ends up, it's like full 360 with this one. But he is a wonderful hero. He is a savage, but he's, you know, it's nice to see him almost like switch piece by piece when he does meet Miriam. I like the setting. I like the fact that he was set in the Middle East, because I've not really read any books that were sort of set on that side of the world. So it's a totally different playing field. So this is the beauty of this series, is that everyone is set on a different part of the world. So because obviously these horsemen, they are literally destroying the world, one section of it at a time. So I liked reading a book that was totally, because I mean the first one was America, this one's the Middle East. It was perfect, really. It was a perfect setting for this story. But that Miriam as a character, she is a wonderful heroine, and she does need to be fierce and takes no messing, but her danger levels, because she is surrounded by, not just with all these people that are somewhat worse than the horsemen. The threat levels in this one, it is incredibly intense. And you can't really trust anybody in this scenario, because even the people that you think are your friends, in order to save themselves, because it is an apocalyptic setting, they're gonna shaft whoever they've got to shaft in order to, because it is survival mode. It literally is end of the world survival, so the stakes are apocalyptic. So if you're looking for a romance that's dark, it's violent, it has a good ending though, it has a good, you know, resolve on it. This is not for the faint-hearted. This whole series is not for the faint-hearted, but this is definitely, it's another 5 stars. I've read this one a few times because the interplay between the couple in this book is fascinating. So he is a very memorable hero, and she's a wonderful character. So highly recommended, and it's a wonderful follow-up to the first one. It twists it just enough, so it just expands the world, because you're seeing a different side of the world. I love that, because it just expands it more and more. It's like opening a door on a whole other wing in the house that you didn't even know you were wanting to read about. So this series is fascinating, and I would love this series to just blow up further, because it's wonderful. So yes, War, 5 stars, highly recommended if you're looking for something a bit savage, a bit dark. Next up is going to be Famine, which that's wonderful as well. There is no book in this series that's less than 5 stars. So definitely pick it up if you haven't heard of this one. If you have, let me know your thoughts. Who's your favourite horseman? But he's definitely a contender for the top, is our War there. But I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you on the next one.